Do you ever worry that your English sounds boring? Well, you're not boring. At least, I don't think you're boring. You probably just need to change the way that you introduce information and tell stories. And I have a couple of techniques that will help you make your listeners pay more attention to what you're saying and make your storytelling more interesting. Let's start with a simple story. When I was young, I was in love with this girl. One day, she just disappeared and I never saw her again. Now, that's a true story and it's interesting to me, but it's probably not that interesting to you because it's just a list of facts. It does include my feeling, heartbreaking, but it's in the wrong position. If I put heartbreaking before what happened, I'm going to create a more interesting story. And to do that, I need to use a what statement like this. When I was young, I was in love with this girl, and what she did was heartbreaking. One day, she just disappeared. I never saw her again. So you see how by putting heartbreaking before she just disappeared, it creates a much more interesting story because the listener hears what, and first of all, wakes them up. They think, oh, you're asking me a question. I better pay attention. But then they hear, well, what she did was heartbreaking. Well, then they want to know, what did she do? Why did you feel heartbroken? They immediately want to pay attention. They immediately want to find out more about your story. And you have made your storytelling with one simple change much more interesting. There's a second thing that we can do to sharpen up this story. But before we get to that, let me take you through the 3 stages that we need to make this kind of storytelling work. I'll give you a new example. First, we have to set the stage. So when I woke up at 6 a.m. this morning, I stretched, opened the curtains, and looked out the window. So you know where we are, you know what's happening. Second, I express how I felt, what my reaction was. I create some interest for the listener. What I saw was beautiful. So now I have the listener's attention. They're going to want to keep on listening to find out what was beautiful. And so third, we explain what happened, what we saw, what the event was. So the world was covered in ice and snow. There was about 50 centimeters of snow out there. And everything glittered as the sun rose up over the mountains. Now, notice that I gave a lot more detail in this example than I did in my first story. Did you need to know that I got up at 6, that I stretched, that I opened the curtains? Did you need to know that everything glittered as the sun rose? Well, not really, but without that, the story is boring. I looked out my window this morning and everything was covered in snow and ice. It's just a fact that this approach will change the way that your English sounds and the way that people react to it. Okay, now maybe you're thinking, Alex, I have nothing interesting to talk about, nothing amazing, nothing shocking that I can use with this reaction first style of speaking. Well, that's not true. There are things that happen every day in your life where you use adjectives. You have things that are kind and nice and funny. So something crazy. There's always crazy things happening. I was watching Tommy on the YouTube Delivered channel the other day. He buys cars for other people. And what the dealer he spoke to asked for was crazy. So the dealer wanted $10,000 more than the manufacturer's recommended selling price. Wow. It's true that the pattern I just used is a little bit more difficult. So what the dealer asked for, what the dealer he spoke to asked for was crazy. So even I have trouble remembering it. And if that's the case, then I recommend focusing on some easier patterns that you can use to talk about things that you read, heard, saw. So what I read was, what I heard was, what I saw was. For example, did you hear about the recent US lottery winner? So what I read was incredible. It said that they won $1.5 billion. That's amazing. And let me give you another pretty simple and very useful pattern. Focus on using what she did and what she said when you describe a story. Like this one that happened to me a few years ago. I was sitting in my car in the parking lot of Tsuruya supermarket. It's a popular and very good supermarket in the Nagano area in Japan. And I'm scrolling through my phone and this car starts pulling into the bay next to me. And there's looks like a nice old lady is driving it. But what she did was unbelievable. She reversed straight into the side of my car, went forward again, straightened up, and reversed into the parking bay. She gets out of the car and starts walking towards the supermarket. She didn't look at me. She didn't seem to notice anything had happened. And so, of course, I ran after her. And what she said was unexpected because she pretended that nothing happened and she denied doing anything. Well, what I said was unrepeatable, but I got it sorted out in the end. We've added what statements to express our reactions to what happens next. And we've added more details to make the information more interesting, more engaging for our listener. And that second point is what I said I come back to for my story about falling in love and having my heart broken. Let's add some details to that. So I was 17 years old and doing a part-time job with a girl called Linda. And I thought she was amazing. I was madly in love with Linda. At least I thought I was in love with her. I mean, I was 17 years old. But what she did was heartbreaking. We're working together on a Wednesday and it's just a normal, regular day. We had a great time. I said goodbye to her in the evening. And then she just disappeared. I never saw Linda again. But as you can see, I still think about Linda from time to time. Linda, what are you doing? Where are you? What happened? Why did you disappear? Next, it's over to you. So what happened to you? Think about your reaction. Talk about something that you read, something that you heard, something that you saw. And do it in 3 stages. Set the scene, add what, and give your reaction, and then describe the events. And when you do it, try to add some more details. An easy way to do that is to think about 5W, what H. So we're already saying what happened, but where were you? What time was it? Who was involved? The more detail that you give, the more interesting, the more expansive your stories become. And if you can do that, write your story in the comments below and I will 100% react to you.